Welcome back to another episode of Ice Bag Hockey Cards. I am your host, Doug, and today we're going to be taking a deep dive into many things around the NHL, including the Utah Mammoth, and then some on the wonderful East Coast or Eastern Conference Finals, and of course the Vegas Golden Knights. And also, we have a preview of the rumored hometown remix jerseys for the 26-27 season. So let's get started. Well, the President's Trophy curse still lives on. The Vegas Golden Knights sweep the Colorado Avalanche in 4 games to advance them to the Stanley Cup Finals to play to host or to play against the Carolina Hurricanes or the Montreal Canadiens. And as of the recording right now, Carolina Hurricanes are up 3-1. It's going to be interesting to see how Vegas does, especially with the shot control or the shots on the net from Carolina, if Carolina gets through. So Carter Hart, fantastic season or series so far. This last game, he stopped 25 out of 26. So fantastic job, even though I do not like him because of everything that's going on. Plus, I did not like him when he was part of the Philadelphia Flyers many years ago. So, yeah, it's just the way it is. I'm not a big fan of him. Mark Stone, coming back off of injury, he comes back and does back-to-back goals. So back-to-back goals in 2 games. So that's a fantastic job of him. And Mitch Marner, 21 points in the postseason. That is fantastic. Followed closely ahead of Jack Eichel of Vegas as well, who has 18 points. These 2 guys are just driving the Vegas Golden Knights to the Stanley Cup Finals. And now they sit there and they wait for either the Montreal Canadiens or the Carolina Hurricanes. And the biggest question of all is going to be, who is going to be a bigger threat to play against the Vegas Golden Knights? Is it going to be the tighter defensive structure, the heavier forechecking, and the blue line presence of the Hurricanes? Or is it going to be the speed, the raw emotion, and the young talent that is coming out of the Montreal Canadiens? Who's going to be a bigger fight? I believe either one of those teams have the capabilities of beating the Vegas Golden Knights. But in my personal opinion, Carolina is going to be the tougher matchup for Vegas. They know how to grind. They know how to forecheck, just like the Vegas Golden Knights. I can see this series going easily 6 or 7 games. But Montreal being down 3-1, I can see them coming back. They are really unpredictable. The young core, Cole Caulfield, Lane Hudson, and Nick Suzuki, and you can keep going on. Those guys really know how to play. And then the goalie, Devesh, he has been on fire for a rookie. So I can really see them do well. But I still think that Carolina Hurricanes are still going to still get to the Stanley Cup Finals. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in the next couple of days, and we can look forward to a wonderful Stanley Cup. Now we're going to go ahead and take a look at the Utah Mammoth. I have been a Utah Mammoth fan for a couple of years now, ever since they're starting. But I also come over from Arizona, as guys can see. I got my Coyotes jersey frame now. Watching the boys play, Logan Cooley, Lawson Krause, Nick Schmaltz, Carl Vamilka, and Clayton Keller, Jack McBain. All these kids are all coming from Arizona, and they get up there. They get a wonderful owner that has no problem spending money to make it a better arena, Delta Center, the practice facility. Now they're adding in the medical side of everything. So Utah is going to be a town that a lot of people want to play in. So do we bring in new people, or do we bring up our young talent? And we have a lot of young talent. Tej Nginla, Daniel Boot, who are on the wings. We have Caleb Daniel, who is a center. Dmitry Simichev and Maverick Lamoureux. These guys are both on the defense. All five of these kids have the ability to be top-notch NHL players. It's going to be interesting to see how they do this offseason, what Bill Armstrong's going to do. And when we get to see Tej and Daniel come in and play for the young talent or the young team in the preseason for the 4 games, and then also Dmitry Simichev and then Mario Lamoureux, how they play on the defensive side of them. Daniel, Dmitry, and Maverick all have NHL experience. They all played up the last year or the year before. So I have a feeling that these guys are going to take some of the roster spots from the UFAs that we're probably not going to be around next year. Stunlin, Ian Cole, players like that. I do not see that we keep them. Barrett Hayden's also in that mix. I know that his name has been thrown around quite a bit as the RFA. So I do see Barrett Hayden being traded in the offseason and us getting some more talent, especially in the center. Speaking of our center, Caleb Daniel, I think he's almost NHL ready, but I see him playing in the AHL this next season and possibly moving up for a game or two if we have any injury issues. But I think that he's going to be down in the AHL for pretty much the whole entire year. And then next year, the 27-28 season, I could see him being rolled up to the full NHL roster, or maybe in the halfway mark of the 27-28. So now back on the defensive line, Simichev and Lamoureux, both of these guys can easily plug up some of the holes on the defensive roster. Both of them are pretty much more of a two-way defensive man rather than more of a D-liner, kind of like McKenzie, Uyghur. I think that these two guys actually have more offensive role than him. I would like for the Utah Mammoth to get another defensive-minded player to have on that back six, just so we have some of the issues that we had last season was us not getting back in time, and McKenzie Uyghur really filled up that hole when we got him through the trade. And that trade, which was 3 second-round picks, now is looking like it was a fantastic trade. So That's kind of my insight on what Bill Armstrong should do. Am I Bill Armstrong? Hell no. I don't envy that man's job. He's got a lot of things going on in his head. Who does he bring in? Who do we bring up? Stuff like that. So, do we go out and get a winger? I don't think we need to get a winger. We have two wingers that are going to be moving up. And we also have a lot of wingers already set. I mean, Dylan Gunther, Cooley, Keller, Schmitz can play both outside and inside. Lawson Krause, we have our wingers, and of course Michael Carcone as well. So we have these guys already set in place, and a lot of them are still young. I mean, Clayton Keller is 27, 28 years old. And then Logan Cooley, he's only 21, almost 22. So we still have a lot of time for these guys. So I think we, as a Utah Mammoth, we really need to focus on the defense and the centers. And a lot of teams need to focus on the centers. So the market for centers is going to be rough, but we have a lot of trade values in some of our players. And I'm not talking about getting rid of any of the top 5 that we've already talked about. I'm talking about some of the other people, some of the other players that are down low. And then we also need to look at a goalie too. Harball, he is an up-and-comer. He's probably going to be the next number 1 goalie in the next, probably the 27-28 season. I would like to see him come up from the AHL to the NHL to play backup, because we definitely need a backup goalie. Vitek Vinacek was not what we needed. We need somebody to actually give Karel Vejmelka, otherwise known as Veggie, some breaks in there rather than him playing 60 games. We don't need that. So going back to, this is going to be a huge challenge for Bill Armstrong. What is he going to do? How are we going to balance all of the UFAs, RFAs that we have, and then bringing in some of the talent through trades or the open market. And this way we can just get past the first round. That is our next goal as the Utah Mammoth, is to get past round 1, get into round 2, and possibly beyond. We have the talent, we have the team, we have the GM. So, next, the hometown remix jerseys. I am so looking forward to these jerseys. And one of the cool things is that it's not going to be a select few teams. It is actually going to be all 32 teams going to be doing the hometown remix jerseys for the 26 and 27 season. We've already seen 2 leaked ones. I'm actually going to put them up here. The Florida Panthers, are going to have the first ever pink jersey, heavily inspired by the 1980s. I'm going to try to put it up right over here. Heavily inspired by the 1980s TV hit Miami Vice. The pink, the fluorescent pink, the yellow, and then also the palm tree and stick making an X. That is rumored to be coming back as well. So instead of on the shoulder pads, it looks like it's going to be on the front of the jersey. So I'm looking forward to seeing that jersey. And then also New York Islanders. I'm going to try to put it right up here. Are rumored to be in a full white jersey with the fisherman. Yeah, I know, Islander fans. The fisherman's coming back. Fisherman on the front with a highly retro 90s feel to it of the blue and orange faded stripes, but they're in more of a wave pattern. So I'm looking forward to seeing that one as well. And so we have both of those guys that have been leaked. And then we have the Washington Capitals kind of leaked. It's kind of rumored to be the Screaming Eagle coming back from the 90s era on a navy blue jersey. So that's all we got from that. And then we also do have the color schemes of the hometown remix. So I'm going to try putting them up here as well. We have two teams in green. That is the Chicago Blackhawks and the Ducks, the Anaheim Ducks. Chicago is most likely going to be going with more of the St. Patty's Day green, kind of like what they do to the river in Chicago. And then also the Mighty Ducks franchise from Disney. That's what it looks like it's coming back as that green for the Ducks. So that would be kind of cool. The LA Kings are rumored to be in purple. Now, I'm old enough to remember when the LA Kings actually had the purple jerseys. So it would be interesting to see them bring back that iconic purple color. San Jose Sharks are looking to do a seafoam green or a teal, not green, seafoam teal or the ocean teal that they already have. So that's going to be their iconic color. And then we have two teams in red, which will be the Detroit Red Wings and then also the Calgary Flames. So I would love to see the Stampede come back on that red. I think that would look really cool. The Stampede, a horse with flames coming out of its nostrils. Utah Mammoth are looking to do the Glacier Blue, which is this color right up here. They are looking to do the Glacier Blue color. And then we have the Boston Bruins being in a brown, very similar to the brown that they used in their Winter Classics a few years ago. And then we also have three gray colors, which is very odd, especially for these three teams. Columbus Blue Jackets, Carolina Hurricanes, and the Philadelphia Flyers. That's going to be quite interesting to see those guys in the gray jerseys. We actually have some teams rumored to be in black jerseys, which is the Vegas Golden Knights. They are rumored to have their Vegas across the front like they've had in the past. St. Louis Blues, the New York Rangers, Ottawa Senators, Tampa Bay Lightning, Minnesota Wild, the New Jersey Devils, and Edmonton Oilers. And then we also have the Vancouver Canucks, Winnipeg Jets, Pittsburgh Penguins, Montreal Canadiens, Nashville Predators, Buffalo Sabres, and the Seattle Kraken, all to feature the navy blue. Now, I'm curious if Pittsburgh is going to go native blue or a light blue like they had a few years ago, before they went back to the iconic yellow and black. Nashville, who is primarily yellow, going to a navy blue. That's also very interesting. Montreal getting away from their red, white, and blue, so they must be adding red and white lettering for something. We'll see. And the Vancouver Canucks, it'll be interesting to see what they bring out. So that's what I got for you, everybody, today. I would love to hear your guys' predictions on who is going to win between the Carolina Hurricanes and the Montreal Canadiens, who's going to win the series. And then, of course, who is going to win the Stanley Cup Finals. That should be starting probably in If Carolina wins the next round, then you're looking at a weekend start. Or if they go until game 7, then we're looking at midweek next week or even later. So it'll be interesting to see, but I'd love to hear you guys' predictions. All right, everybody. Y'all have a great day. This is Doug with Ice Bag Hockey.